Good morning, everyone. Wow, bowling. I'm going to be there, but I'm not going to bowl. Otherwise, you might end up taking me to the hospital. It's wonderful. My wife and I will actually be there to be referees to see me win. It's really fun. We have really enjoyed ourselves last couple of months now. I have so much I have to say. Time is flying on flies and it's been fun. And by the way, Brother Jacob, you did a wonderful job this morning. It was amazing. Just want to encourage you. Really sweated all over this. Now it's my turn to sweat. Jasmine, would you come and help me this morning? I'm running a little fever actually. But thank God I have a co-partner. I'm bowled over by this woman. For the last 40 over years now, we had a courtship that lasted 6 years, and then after that, this year is 38 years of marriage. So don't ask us what age we got along, right? But it's been a wonderful journey together with God. All our dating took place in the church. If we go bowling those days, our pastors will scold us, it's a sin. But now it's okay. Now we can go bowling and watch some decent movies, and not feel guilty about it. As long as we theologize the movie, theologize what are the lessons you learn from the movie, how we can grow to be more like God in the days ahead. I had a wonderful time with the heads of ministry meeting this morning. Simple breakfast. It's the beginning of a good thing that is happening for DOB. It's the beginning of the new season. And we are closing the gaps. In other words, every ministry is interdependent on one another. If the youth and the children's church do well, then it will be the future of the church, because they are really the future of the church, the youth and the children. So we are paying a bit of attention in helping them grow. And then we have done a prayer, and this will continue for a while. When Nehemiah was rebuilding the wall of Jerusalem, it was an awesome responsibility, because the wall was broken, the gates were burned, and the enemies, and the whole Jerusalem city was vulnerable to the attacks of the enemy. And so Nehemiah came, he had this burden from God, and he rebuilt the wall together with the workers and the Jews that came around him. And then they said, come, let us rebuild. And so they started rebuilding, they closed the gaps. And as they closed the gaps, there was opposition. Every time there is a work of God going, you can expect some form of opposition. But as long as we are united, nothing is impossible with God. Someone say amen. As long as we are united. We are not perfect, but we can be united. Amen? We can differ, but we cannot destroy. Amen? That's right. And as we grow to different levels of maturity in the church, the church will continue to bring in new ones, and we continue to disciple them. I've asked my wife to come up here this morning. Oh, you're seated there very nicely. I want to interview my wife this morning. Is that okay with you? Oh, you need the mic, yes. I'm seated so far away. Now, this is impromptu. I didn't ask her any question or anything, but I wanted to just mention that time has flown. 5 months just we've been here. This is our 5th month. Next month will be our 6th month, middle of the year. And are you ready to leave Penang yet? No. She's
5.5 months, and people have been so loving and accepting to me to find very hard to leave one thing new. I found that the plans we had at the very beginning of this year all falling into place. Thank God that TOP has been a fertile ground, and all the seeds that you have sown have just grown and they have just developed. And I'm just so free, my heart is bursting with joy and gratitude. Each one of you for making us feel so welcome, so loved, and all the fruits you've given us and all the makan has helped me grow by leaps and pounds.
I know I'm not ready to leave Penang yet. You know why? Because the durian season is not here yet. I'm waiting for the best durian in town. But I'm also waiting to see, what Jasmine said is like the seeds we sow. It's like spring. It's springing up. Little green shoots are springing up. And we sense that in our heart. It's springing up, little green shoots. And among the young people, the adults, it's growing. It's fertilizing. It's growing. And that the adults have put in a lot of love into it, and patience. And we just come around. Most of the cell groups, just come around. My wife has been going around and meeting up with the people in the cell. And my energy is a little limited these days, and I trust you understand why. I have a lot of challenges as far as my health is concerned. But then I married a younger wife, you see, so she's got a lot more energy. And I have to find a way she can release this energy. And so she goes around at night while when she comes back at 11 o'clock, I'm already half asleep or sleeping in the house actually. My energy is a little limited. I'm looking forward to retirement really. This year was supposed to be the year where I'm supposed to be with my children in March, and I was looking forward to a time that I can just stay quiet for a moment. And it's been 40 long years of plowing in Malaysia. It's been a wonderful, I have lived my life. And if the Lord takes me home tomorrow, I can say, Lord, I have done what you have asked me to do. Live that life for God. But then there are still a couple of months left, and I'm still waiting for the durian. We went to pull up Balik Pulau, go back to the island, is it? Balik Pulau, is it at the back of the island, or is it because the fisherman goes out to the sea and does the work, fish the whole day, and then they say that's Balik Pulau? No, that's not the answer. At the back of the island. We did see some other fruits, but not the durian, so I will wait. And so you can be thankful that the durian season is a bit late this season. But we not only want to eat the best durian. My feeling is that this is the physical side of me. I want to eat the best durian, but we also want to see the best in all of you. We want to see that little shoot growing green, and knowing that this is going to be the best of TOP. It's going to be a fruit that will be ripened in the days and in the years ahead. We want to see the best in you. Gabby is a real stealer, you know Gabby, Esther's daughter. She steals everybody's heart. And in the interview, she said, Mommy, you are the best. Mommy is the best. You are the best. And so we're still discovering. We're still discovering as much as we can. We're still discovering, and we're moving into the next stage now of developing and discipling. And that the leaders will themselves find other disciples and grow you. And as you grow as an individual, as you grow as ministry heads, the church will grow. I think Brother Ooi shared very powerfully on Wednesday between the difference between a worshipper and a worker. And that the worshipper will be a worker. Am I correct? But a worker may get so busy with the work, you may forget to be a worshipper. So we are first and foremost a worshipper. And that is really important. Jasmine, is there anything else you want to talk about this morning before I move into? Or you can just sit here and let me preach.
Say something.
She wants to say something.
So that I can move down and more comfortable for all eyes to be. Yeah, can you just hold this mic for a little while?
2 mics.
I have something here which really amplifies or exemplifies what I want to say about you. And that in so many of you, I see a lot of potential. And it's like this heart here. It's all wrapped up, all closed up in. Yes.
It's a heart. It's a heart.
And every one of you, I see so much love and such a spirit of desire to help and to serve. But some of you are afraid to lead. And if I open you up through encouragement and through affirmation and through, it's like opening up. And what happens is that you will become a butterfly. Yeah, and I just, every one of us can do that.
Looks like somebody here.
Every one of us can compliment, sincerely value each other. You are incredibly invaluable. And all of you play such a vital part in the growth and the maturity of this church. It's just going to be at the top and live up to your name. And so I'm giving this to my husband because he has helped to open me up and given me opportunities to speak and to serve the Lord. And like a husband who actually, in like this, turned me from a caterpillar to a butterfly. And many times I used to be very shy and reserved, and I said, I'll just be a support. I won't, come up in front. I'll shiver and tremble. But through the encouragement and through the compliments and affirmation we do over the years, I can stand here today and speak to you. And so this is for you, Dan. So I'll
Fly like a butterfly.
Can I say one more thing?
One more thing.
Yes, Ethiopia has got an elevator, 2 elevators. And one thing I want to say that you or we are like elevators. We bring people up or we bring people down. And when people step into your elevator, how do they feel? Do they feel you're going to take them up, or are you going to bring them down to the basement, -1? Ethiopia is the only elevator with a -1. And for some of us, the only button that we have is down. And so I pray that each one of us will be like the elevators that will lift people up, not bring them down. Right? And similarly, I'm also very concerned for families and marriages. And I find that if we will continue this to encourage and affirm one another, we will have happier homes, happier children, and brighter children, as well as brighter spouse. Encouragement is like oxygen therapy. Women, we go for, not me lah, but I've heard that there's such a therapy called oxygen therapy, which will make your face glow. You know that? And there's oxygen water, which will make you, energize you. Well, you don't need to go.
Expensive, isn't it?
Oh yeah. You don't need to, husbands, don't need to send your wives to all this expensive oxygen therapy. Just give them a good dose of compliment every day. And then you will make their face shine and glow. Amen. Praise the Lord.
Amen. Amen. I didn't hear you say amen. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. We're just enjoying you. This morning I wanted to just share, I'm still okay, about lifting the lid. Can I have the PowerPoint on? If you have the Bible, turn with me to 1 Samuel chapter 17. And this is the story of young David, and you all know the story. And it is said that if there was no Goliath, he wouldn't bring out David. If there was no challenge that is in front of us, he wouldn't bring out the best in our life. because there is a Goliath, David came out into the picture. And I'm praying this morning that every one of us will find that David inside us. And that whatever obstacles that are placed in front of us, we will be able to overcome it. Because we are more than conquerors through Him who loves us. Now in 1 Samuel chapter 17, 34 to 37, you read about how David's response to Saul. Your servant has been keeping his father's sheep, and the lion or bear came and carried off a sheep from the flock. I went after it, struck it, and rescued the sheep from its mouth. And then the story goes on to say that he killed the lion and the bear, and then this uncircumcised Philistine was making threats to the army of Israel. Everybody was afraid. No one dared to fight him. But young David, a shepherd boy, said, "The Lord who delivered me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will deliver me from the hand of this Philistine." There's no greater joy in my life than to see others succeed. And maybe that's this father in me where you want to see your children grow up and succeed in life. And I'm sure every parent feels the same thing. But not only do we make the sacrifice and do everything we can to provide the resources for them, but we want to see them go far in life. I know teachers play a vital role because they help us to learn our ABCs in our kindergartens and primary school. And then they surrender us to the secondary school. So the teachers are there for us at a certain level of life. And we grow up, to that level, as much knowledge as they have. And they surrender us to the secondary school. And the secondary school, you have secondary teachers. So then we move away from primary and we move into secondary. And the secondary school teachers take us to another level. Physics, biology, chemistry, economics, which we learn in the primary school. And then the secondary school teacher surrender some of us to the university. So we go on to the next level. And I liken this as a lid. As a lid. Lifting the lid. This is a, what do you call this? Tupperware? No, it's not a Tupperware. Container. There is a lid here. And when I take out the lid, this one is always below the lid. You cannot put this here. The lid is always on top. So the lid determines the level of ability, how high you can go. So when I take out the lid is always closing on this one. When I take it out, the left hand, it's like us. I'm the father. Maybe I can take my children up to primary, secondary school. This is as much as I can take. But I'm not a university lecturer. Well, I'm a Bible school lecturer. But if he wants to go further, I have to release him. Let him find another person that will take him further. Which means I take my lid off so that he can go higher. As long as I put my lid on him, he will only be at this level. But when I take the lid off him, he goes up into another level. Or the other way to lift him up is I myself make sure that I develop and I grow higher. I go for my university degree, I go for my doctorate, I I'm just using an illustration in the academic world. And then he goes higher, because then I'm up here. As long as I go up, he can go up. I go up, he can go up. So that is the whole idea of lifting the lid. You know, just last night as I was preparing this sermon, somebody WhatsApped me, and you don't know about this, and showed me 4 pictures of him preaching in a batu air shop and praying, winning souls for Jesus in a batu air shop. I almost gave up on this young man. He's not young, he's about my age, but he came into Bible school. And like this morning I shared with the ministry leaders, we're all serving, we want to serve, which is really good. But there is a place in which our maturity and our spirituality with God must match the service that we are doing. If we don't have enough maturity while we are serving, we get into problems. So this guy came to Bible school and he did something wrong. I won't mention it. I caught him doing something wrong, and guess what? I had to suspend him. I could have sacked him from the Bible school because it's a very serious training. They're dealing with churches and they're dealing with lives, and we can't afford somebody who will not have that maturity, the character transformation. So I suspended him instead of sacking him, and I suspended him hoping that he will change. And I recommended him to go to a rehab center for further counseling. So he went, and then he did fairly well, learned from his lesson. And then he came back, applied back to the Bible school, and I said, sure, we'll take you back. But I said, really, this time, you already have a chance to come back, and you cannot afford to make any more mistake. What I'm trying to say is, I had to bench him. That means there are certain times in our life, we stop playing the game because we are tired, or we do not have that maturity to carry on. You have to bench yourself. I have benched myself in the past because I found myself going on and I need to really rest. But then you come back again. You never give up serving God. You grow from that lesson. And so then Billy just sent me the pictures last night, and it was amazing. He's back. He came back to Bible school, graduated. He's an evangelist. He has got his own business in terms of Bakute, and he has won 38 people in his shop, just moving from table to table. He goes out and he's an evangelist to other countries, and he is a expert in what I call slope building, strengthening the slopes in the field. So he's a man with many talents and so forth. But I'm so encouraged. Last night I shot back the WhatsApp to Billy and I said, Billy, well done, good job. And until today, if I were to bring him up, he will tell you that I suspended him for 6 months. But he never regretted it. He never regretted it. I had to do it because that's what a father is. A father will not just tell you good things, but a father loves you enough to correct you so that you can become a better person and to bring the best out in your life. Alright? And so here we have the story of David. He goes out to the front line. The father told him to bring some food there. And he's watching all that is happening here. And then what happened is that he took the challenge to fight Goliath. From a shepherd boy to become the king of Israel. Wow, what a journey. Because the shepherd is actually a very low occupation. And from the lowest occupation to the highest position in society. How did David do it? When I think about it, he was able to lift the lid off in himself. Lift the lid off. yourself. That means David did not limit himself when the challenge came. And God had prepared him in the wilderness when he killed the lions and the bears. There was no applause. Nobody was around anyway. The sheep cannot give him a clap. Oh, thank you for, killing the lions and the bears. He was alone in the desert. Alone in the wilderness, fought the lions and the bears. He was courageous. He didn't run away from that challenge. Why? He was a shepherd. He loved the sheep. He stayed with the sheep. He protected them. He loved them. And he proved himself to be a shepherd. So when Goliath came, it was like, I've done this thing before. It's not new to me. And I know God has given me the courage to fight the lions and the bears. I will do the same thing with Goliath. For the rest of the army, with all their quote-unquote qualifications and armor, and spears and sword, they did not go out to fight Goliath. But David was a man that was trained by God in the wilderness. Trained. I love training. That is the key to the next generation. You train and train and train and train. One of my most fulfilling years of ministry is at the Bible school. Young as I was, I learned to train and train and train and train because they too wanted to be trained. You must want to be trained. Because if you don't want to be trained, no amount of encouragement will move you to the next level. You must want to be trained. It's not a must thing, but it's a heart that loves God. It's a heart that says, Lord, grow me, train me, take me higher. Help me become the kind of person you want me to become. Bring the best out of my life. And that's what Jasmine and I have been doing for these last many years. Trying in our limited way, trying to bring the best out of people wherever He sends us. And so our motto in life for the last many years is building people, empowering lives. It's not just a motto. It's not just a cliche. We are passionate about it. Building people, empowering lives, so that we can take the lid off them and they can become what God wants them to become. Well, one of them is another guy, and I mentioned this to you. David was a drug addict in Selangor many years ago, and today is the owner of one of the largest real estate in Malaysia. That's another one where he came into the center, we took the lid off him, and we said, David, you can be what God wants you to become. Stayed through the whole ministry, the rehab program, and I have asked him to come and share in the church, but waiting for him to give me a date to give you the testimony of how God has taken him from that down in the society and to reach a place where he's such an influential man in the corporate world these days. But King Saul in the Old Testament was limited by his own religion. You know the story of David and King Saul. Saul at first, when he was asked to be king, was hiding. He didn't want to be king. He was hiding. He was afraid. Then he became king. Big, charismatic guy. But we see very clear witnesses in Saul's life. He built a nation around himself. The army wasn't really for him. You read the whole story of Saul. There were certain lids he put on his own. There was this lid of impatience. So he put this lid upon himself. Impatience. And because his impatience, the consequences are there. He can't go beyond that. He was impatient. He refused to wait on Samuel one time, and he took matters into his own hands. All the scriptures there, 1 Samuel 13, 8 to 10. He was also living in an attitude of denial. We call it the lid of denial. And then when he was rejected as king, he continued as if everything is fine. So denying that his season is over. So there is the lid of denial. Then there is the lid of pride. 1 Samuel 15:12. He wanted to build, and he built a monument in honor of himself. He was thinking too highly of himself. Pride was another lid. And I can go down the list. Disobedience was another lid. Jealousy of what David's success was another lid. Anger, was another lid. Deceit was another lid. All of these were lids that he put upon himself. And at the end of the day, the consequence is this: he lost his kingdom. I sat under John Maxwell many years ago, and I'm just borrowing some of his thoughts from him, all due credit. And I heard him live, and it was really a seminar that changed my whole line of thinking in terms of approaching to build God's church and God's ministry. As long as we limit ourselves, that is as far as the organization will grow. This is us. This is our organization, whether it's a church or even company for that matter. As long as you are at this level, your company or your organization is at this level. If you grow and you develop, the organization will go up. But if you don't, then it will be there at the same level for as long as possible. Unless this organization, you bring in somebody else who's got a higher level of effectiveness, and then the organization grows again. That's why life is dynamic. Organizations are dynamic. Churches are dynamic. We are not meant to stay status quo all the time. We are meant to grow as an individual, knowing God, growing in it, becoming like God. It's a growth thing. And then serving Him is not just a one-time serving, it's a lifetime serving. Still serving God, different seasons, different approach, but you're still serving. And so when you look at this principle, we call it a law. Maxwell calls it a law. It's like if you throw an apple, will it go up into heaven? No, it won't. It will drop. What do you call that? The law of gravity, isn't it? Everybody knows that. So the law of gravity, it has its consequences. You throw it up, it will go down. Same thing with this law, the law of the lid. If you lift up the lid, the organization will grow with it. And that's why we are so passionate about growing leaders, growing people. When you grow them, then it's not just about the work, it's growing the worker. If you grow the worker, the work will grow. And it takes patience. It takes encouragement. It takes the heart of a father, not just a position. It takes loads and loads of love and patience to actually work and build workers for the harvest fields. There's no shortcut to it. So when you look at it, when I take the lid off, and by the way, there are some goodies inside this container here, and I like this. Wow, is this from Australia? Who's hungry this morning? Rosie, you're not diabetic, are you? Not ready. I'm just enjoying myself this morning. Not for Jacob, where's Jacob? Oh yeah, you sweated, so yes, replenish your energy. That's from Australia. Take the lid off yourself. Can you say with me, take the lid off? That's right. Don't limit yourself, because when you really take the lid off yourself and overcome the difficulties and obstacles. I shared with the ministry leaders today that the word cannot shouldn't be in our dictionary, if possible. It shouldn't be in our dictionary. Vocabulary. We were in a hotel one time and the pillow was so hard, so I said, can you give me a soft pillow? I called the receptionist, and the first thing the lady said, cannot. Cannot be done. And it's like a limiting language. Of course, You know, there are some things I will still use cannot. If you ask me to jump down the building, I say cannot, you know. I will just be reasonable. But as long as there is a chance of solving the solution, at least say this, give me some time. At least say this, let me think about it. At least say this, let me do some research. So that the word cannot should be the last word in our vocabulary. Only when you have tried all other options, then you can say, I'm sorry, I don't think I can do it. Is that good? Is that good, Tommy? Yeah, I think that's where we change our mindset. Because I think generally wherever I travel in this country, I live in many hotels, different places, it's like the spirit of cannot, so much so that you limit yourself. Can TOP become better? Can Penang become better? Can the Selangor State Assembly have a Christian Pentecostal woman as the first speaker of the history of Malaysia? Can. Now everybody wants to buy a book. You know, can. Say can with me. Can. It can be done. When you look at your children, I'm sure you say, he can do this, he can do this. But many times we limit even our own children. You cannot do this, cannot do this, cannot do this, cannot do this. And they grow up thinking they cannot do it. That's it. They become what you say of them. So TOP, you can reach your maximum in God, all right? Be somebody that will lift the lid off yourself, and you will find that you can be a blessing for the betterment of mankind and those around you. I don't want to talk too much about my son because I don't want to be misunderstood. Some people think we're boasting about him all the time, but really not, really not. You know, he grew up as a pastor's kid, ordinary kid like any other kid. Grew up, went to kindergarten, went to school. You know, he didn't even go to private school, went to government school, Bukit boys school, and primary school, secondary school, and then after that he said, Dad, I save you money. I will just go for my South Australian matriculation because it's a shorter period. And then after he finished, he got back the money. They gave him back $5,000, you know, with his results. And so he did ordinary boy, but we never imagined everything that Joshua wanted those days. We observed it when he was young. There were times when he was naughty, but I think, Jasmine, would you like to talk about this, about the gold and the dirt? Which one are you looking at? The gold and the dirt.
You know, in child development, there is this principle of looking for the gold. When you go and mine for gold in the mines, what do? Do you go looking for the dirt? No, but in every gold ore, there's a lot of dirt. And there's streaks of gold inside, and that needs to be, melted down and purified. But when we go looking for the streaks of goodness, or in our children, we begin to express that, appreciate, instead of looking for just all the things, all the flaws that our children exhibit. They're lazy, do that. But you must just, hey, Josh, I really like this reading to you because you're so attentive. Instead of saying you're so fidgety, I highlight what is good in them, and by doing that, I am actually giving them the opportunity to grow and develop.
He just spoke to 700 scientists across the world in Tokyo. They sent him there. And he's young, he's very young, but it's not a one-man show because he's got his team of scientists with him. And they acknowledge that because his article came out in the journal called Nature. Nature is the top science magazine journal in the world. It's top. Every scientist want their publications to be done in that journal so that they can get grants, money for their research. And so what I'm trying to say is that we, as parents, even when he was young, the whole house was a laboratory. You find the word chair, CHAIR written on the chair, table, refrigerator. The whole house was a laboratory, and mom and dad were just grooming him from young. And we noticed that he's got a head gift. We've got head gifts, we've got hand gifts, we've got heart gifts. So when we are young, you observe what gifts they have. And if they've got a heart gift, they are soft, they are gentle, they like rabbits, they make sure that they're very compassionate to animals and so forth. Hand gifts, they like to play with toys and build things and so forth. The possibility that they could be an architect or engineer or whatever it is. And then the head gifts are like, they see one thing, they remember, they remind you what they keep inside their mind. It's very interesting. And so when we saw the potential of what Joshua was, we just take the lid off him. Everything he wanted to do that will make him grow into his potential, we just take it off. And then came to a point where we couldn't teach him anymore. We had to surrender him to the university, and the university now, he's been there, he's a research fellow now, more than just a scientist. And then he's thinking, wow, whether the university now will release him to other higher universities, at Oxford or Cambridge. I couldn't imagine that it could come to this level, but because it has happened in our life and we're seeing it for ourselves, when I stand up here, I have grown in my heart to know that all of you, your children, all of you, the best in your life can be drawn out. We want to see the best. Don't just look at the dirt. Look at the gold covered by all that dirt. If you just see the dirt, you won't see the gold. But if you look focused on seeing the best in each other, you will say, can one? Cho mai con cho can be done. Chui saucy what? Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Lift the lid for others. The second point is lift the lid for others. I should be pointing there. Lift the lid for others. Lift the lid for others. I didn't turn it on, so how can I? I didn't even turn it on here. That's right. Lift the lid for others. Wonderful. See, I like this healing. Because we had one that was not working well, and she on her own went on to get a new one. This is good. This is really positive. This is proactive. Instead of saying, old one, use it again or throw away, she just went on to buy it. That's it. Solve the problem. Are you okay here? Solve it. Don't add on to the problem. Solve it. Hallelujah. Amen. Lift the lid for others. And so what happened to David? He went out there, he fought Goliath, he cut off Goliath's head, he lifted the faith of the whole nation. And guess what? When he did that, what happened to the army? They all came out. All of them were hiding. But because David went and destroyed Goliath, the rest of the people came out. And they are now willing to fight the Philistines. Wow, it brought out something in others. When you lift the lid off yourself, you actually lift the lid for others. He lifted the faith of the whole nation. 1 Samuel 17, you can read about that. And I just need to say this, as God's people, when we want to take people to the higher ground, we want to take them to the higher ground. If we don't become the person God wants us to be with that ability, then the people cannot become what they could be. In other words, when we lift up, take the lid off ourselves, we actually complete what they can become. We complete others with our courage, all right, and with our willingness to do the work of God. We look at the New Testament now, when you know the story of Paul when he was a persecutor, and the story of Stephen is that when Stephen was being killed, Saul was standing there approving the death of Stephen, the deacon, all right, going back to Acts now. And then you know the story, Saul got saved, he was on the road to Damascus. And guess what? You know, he saw the vision of Jesus, but no one dared to go near Saul because he was known for his cruel persecution of the Christians. Until God showed Ananias a vision and told Ananias, go and pray for Saul. Ananias said, Acts chapter 9, but he's a man that we're all afraid of. But Ananias had a vision, New Testament vision. Sometimes motivation doesn't work, vision must come in. Vision directed Ananias, and he went on to lift the lid of Saul, prayed for Saul. Not only that, they were still afraid of him. Barnabas came around and introduced Saul, changed him to Paul, to the apostles. Take the lid off Paul. And Paul became one of the greatest missionaries in the New Testament. Took 3 missionaries, 4 missions, he died. Church history, died in Rome, beheaded. But he wrote most of the New Testament because there was an Ananias, because there was a Barnabas behind him that took the lid off. And I tell you this is the most satisfying thing you can ever do with your life and my life, is to be a lid to people. Don't put lids on people. Sometimes in church it's very difficult. Here am I trying to tell the church, you can do it, you can grow, you can become a man of God, you can serve God well, you know, and I take the lid off. Then somebody comes and says, no, you cannot. So the lid comes back again. Yes, you can. So I preach my heart out, you know, encourage, yes, you can. The lid is taken up. Another one comes and says, no, you cannot. So you get stuck there for the last 20 years of your life. Somebody say yes, another one say cannot. So at the end of the day, you take the lid off yourself. Grow, all right? When people come around you and be a help to you, don't just, I have to use this word, don't use people. The world uses people to get what they want, to make money and so forth and so forth. In the church, we don't use people. In the church, we grow people. Come on. In the church, we grow people. In the church, I want you to help me as much as I need your help in the work. I also love you as a worker. And we do everything we can to encourage one another. Amen? TOP is going to be different. You catch this, if you catch this, TOP is going to be different. I'm just sowing seeds. My wife and I are just sowers. God has taken us throughout this whole nation. And sometimes 9 years, sometimes 5 years, sometimes 1 year, sometimes whatever years we have. We are just sowers. We sow seeds. Seeds that will help build people, because I am passionate about the Church of God in Malaysia. It has to be a strong church. And if persecution, and when persecution comes, we will be strong enough, like the early church, we will be strong enough to withstand the persecution. And wherever we are scattered, like the New Testament church, we will still preach the Word of God. Alright, so be a lid lifter, take the lid off others. And I must say that Jasmine, you have been one of the lid lifters in my life. Not weight lifter, but lid lifter. She's very good now. Every morning she goes to the gym. She's working on it. Why? Because so much food God is feeding us. We are overwhelmed by papayas and bananas and kueh and so forth. We are overwhelmed by your kindness. The last point is don't let others put a lid on you. Don't let others put a lid on you. Right? And the story of this is Saul and his brothers discourage him, you know, and Saul and David's brothers discourage him. Saul said, this Philistine has been a seasoned warrior. You are only a youth. How can you defeat Goliath? You're only a youth. Youth, are you hearing me now? You're only a youth. Do not despise the young people, right? And then the brothers, Eliab said to David, you are conceited. He told David, you only want to come and see the battle, actually, you know, and rebuked David for going to the front line to see what is happening. And the end of the day, it was this statement: you are not able to fight Goliath. You are not able. And 1 Samuel 16, 11, 17, 28, 17, 33, you are not able. You are not able. What did David do? David went on. I will bring down Goliath in the name of the Lord. He went on, and Saul tried to put on his armor for David. Wait, David. You better put on his armor I'm giving you. David put it on. No, it doesn't work for him. Different size, different battle of strategy being taught differently. And sometimes it's a hard one because we all think everybody is like us. We all think. If only Jasmine is like me, it'll be easier to live with. If I'm like her, it'll be easier for her to live with. So for the last 40 over years, we've been trying to change each other to be like each other. And we have failed miserably. God had to show us we are different. Number one, I'm male, you are female. Number two, and so forth, and so forth. Everybody is unique. Everybody is different. The methods will have to be different. But the objective is the same. And as we grow older, we realize that there is no such thing as a fixed equation to try and get things done in terms of ministry, in terms of service. So everyone is unique, but we have to discover what is in them that will bring out the best in them. Discover each other, discover the giftings, discover the personality, discover each other. Our love language is different. If I were to buy a flower for Jasmine, she said, "Wow, you buy flower tomorrow, you will die." Wasting money. Because the love language is not really gifts. The love language is words. If I throw rubbish away every time, by the way, I may be the preacher this morning. When I go home, I'm actually with the garbage man. I have to throw the rubbish. When I throw that, she will love me. That's her love language, because it's action, action. My son is different, it's quality time, he wants to be with him. That means we love him. Different love language altogether. So God has created in such a way that we are not the same, we are different, and we need to discover this. We need to make the time, make the effort to really discover each other and appreciate each other for who we are. When you understand the depths of this understanding, you will really come to a place where you will embrace each other and work together, no matter how difficult it is. Hallelujah. So don't let others put a lid on you. So David went on to be himself. Now when I say be himself in God, I'm not talking about disobedience here. I'm not talking about willful rebellion. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about recognizing individuals as individuals and that they have a unique way of operating in their life. Let them take the lead of them. Don't put our own method on them. Let them discover who they are. Let them fly, reach the stars. If I were to limit my son and tell him, you do what daddy tells him all the time, and so forth and so forth and so forth, he will never become a scientist. The most he can become is a preacher like me. Seriously, he is flying. My daughter is flying too, my son-in-law is flying, they're all flying. And that has been our passion all these years, to see people fly, reach the sky, reach the stars, and don't put lids on them. And don't put lids on yourself. I think my wife too, somebody tried to put a lid on you one time when we got married, and somebody said, "Oh, Jesus is coming, you cannot have children." All the kind of theology that comes those days, he's coming very soon, and you must take out all your money and put the money in somewhere else, and go and buy a piece of land in the mountain, and so forth and so forth and so forth. All that kind of prevalent those days. And then, no, this is not from God. Jesus said that you won't know the timing of His coming, only the Father knows. If we didn't have, if we succumb to that lid, we wouldn't have a sun that can change it. Seriously. So, take the lid off. Don't be afraid. Stretch your heart, TOP. And recognize people are different from us. Love them as they are. Just don't put lids on people. And so from today onwards, TOP, no more putting lids on each other. No more. Someone say that. No more putting lids. No more. Cannot. No more. No more. I don't want to hear that anymore. At least say, let me think about it. We're going into another level now. We're breaking out from the old mode. We're going into a new mode. It can be done. It can be done. Who says anyone from among you cannot be the pastor of this church? Who says? Did God say it? No, God didn't say it. Did you hear that? Who says anyone among you cannot be a top politician, Christian politician in this world? Who says cannot? Who knows? Huh? Who knows? Who says your children that you have cannot be the scientists that will even overtake my son and become an Albert Einstein in the world? Who says? Who says cannot? You never know. You never know. Don't limit yourself. Don't limit God. Don't limit one another. Don't limit. You know the young children in America, when they grow up, you know what is their ambition, most of them? They want to be the president of the United States of America. And then from young, they all have politics in the school and vote for president and so forth. It's becoming their culture until when President Trump became the president. I also cannot believe it that he became the president. Who says an actor like Ronald Reagan can become the president of the United States? Who says that none of our children can become the Prime Minister of Malaysia because the federal constitution allows that anybody, any race, any religion can become the Prime Minister of Malaysia? Who says cannot? Hallelujah. Who says cannot? Whoa, we're very quiet this morning. I can almost hear the word cannot. Stuck in your mouth there. Stuck in your mouth. Cannot come out. Cannot come out. Very good. From now onwards, we can. All things are possible with God. Right? Let's stand. Let's do this declaration. Last one. Just declaration. Declaration. Do this declaration. Okay? Amen. I would like the musicians, if you can, Brother Jacob. I love that song just now. Father, we love you. Father, we love you. And I will ask Sister Marina to come close in prayer. But before we do that, I want you all to declare with me this morning. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Today, in Jesus' name, I remove the lids of my life, lids that limit me to become what God wants me to become. Today, I remove the lids for others so that they can be the best for Jesus. Today, I refuse to allow any lids placed upon me by others that will limit my excellence in God. Today, I declare that God is the glory and the lifter of my head. I am more than a conqueror through Christ who strengthens me. Amen. Lift up your hand, just begin to pray. Hallelujah. Begin to pray. Ask the Lord to strengthen you, reinforce this truth in your life. As long as it is in God's will. As long as it doesn't break any moral law, any law of the country, so to say. As long as it in the center of God's will, all things are possible. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord. Let's lift up your hands, speak in tongues. Oh, Ramakasita Shunarabakarianda Shukamakayanda Rabakaria Noloboko Randa Rabakashika Makariande Maranda Rabaka in Jesus' name. Oh Ramakarianda Makarianda Rabaka Ukaranda Rabaka Ukamakayanda. In the name of Jesus, hallelujah. I speak life this morning. Break every form of negativity. Makaria, I come against every spirit of pessimism in the name of Jesus. Hallelujah. I declare a new day, a new way of thinking, a new way of doing, a new way. Hallelujah. Makaria, from this day onwards, it will be yes, it can be done in Jesus. Oh, Ramakarianda, Uramama Sakarianda, Shikaranda, Ramakarianda, it can be done in the name of Jesus. In His will, in His time, in the right season, it can be done. Makarianda, oh, Ramakarianda, Mahane Boko Shaka Makarianda, take us on to the next level altogether. Maranda Rabakarianda, Ramashoto, Maranda Raboko, it can be done, it can be done, it can be done. Makayande, Shukaranda Rabakarianda, oh Ramakarianda Rabakai, Mahane Boko Shaka Makarianda. Hallelujah, hallelujah, Makayanda Raboko, oh Ramasara Rabakai, Mahane Boko Shaka. I want you to hold hands with the one next to you this morning. Just hold hands with the person next to you. Hold hands with the person next to you. From now onwards, we lift the lid off one another. We don't put lids on people anymore. We lift the lid off them. And we tell them that God loves them. We tell them you are special in the sight of God. We tell them how can we be of any help so that you can grow further. Hallelujah. We come alongside. We are Barnabas. Take the lid of Paul, who became one of the greatest missionaries. We are not afraid to let people take over and overtake. We are not afraid to let people take over and overtake. We are generous. We are not afraid. Hallelujah. God raises them up to become better than us. Then let it be. Hallelujah. We rejoice. If God blesses somebody with something which we don't have, then we rejoice. We don't say, why not me? We don't say, why don't you bless me with it? No, we don't say that. We rejoice with those whom God blesses, and we say, God bless you. It's no longer about me. It's about God. Hallelujah. It's about God blessing someone else. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
You're doing a new work in our lives, oh God.
and we break it right now, oh God. And Lord, you set your people free, oh God, to be able to do all that they can in you, oh Lord. Shikaramasanda, Karamasanda. So Father, we surrender ourselves to you, Lord. We take up our lips and we, Lord, we want to exalt and we want to praise and we want to affirm our brothers and sisters, oh God. We want to raise each other up, oh God. Lord, help us, oh God, to be Barnabas. Help us, oh God, to give that word of encouragement.